Good morning.
Good morning.
It is really good to be back here and see so many of you here this morning. This is delightful. This is an Easter gift. Easter gift for me and for Sandra. My friend Sandra has come with me down from Squim to be here with you this morning. So we've been looking forward to this even when we got lost this morning. I've been here 3 times to this church, and every time I've gotten lost. So I'm going to make my Garmin remember where I am, so you cannot move. Can't move. But I do like all the changes, all the wonderful life that you have brought to the sanctuary. This is really delightful to see the changes, see life continuing, which is a lot of what my message is about today. Is that we call this Easter. We celebrate the resurrection, the return of life to our brother Jesus. And for many people, seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. What we see is what we assume is true because we can touch it and we can feel it, and it has a reality to us. But in unity, you are learning, I am learning, that believing is seeing. That what I believe, what I think about, what I feel, what I hold in my belief system is what determines how I experience my life. As we practice choosing good thoughts so that we will create good experiences, sometimes I have that sense of knowing, I imagine you do too, that sense of knowing that yes, this thing will happen, but there's this little edge, this little ruffle kind of around it that is like, I believe it, and I affirm it, but it's not absolutely certain until it actually happens. And then it's like, yes! And that is a good thing. That is the seeing, believing. I believe it when I see it. And that's good because it affirms that whole believing to see process. We have to learn that it does happen. We have to learn that the power is within us, that Christ connection within us is what makes and manifests what it is that is in our life. I really have enjoyed this particular Easter season because I have been thinking a lot about Jesus the man, going through the experience that he did last Sunday at Palm Sunday, moving himself into Jerusalem for the celebration of Passover. And did he know what was coming up? Did he have a strong knowing of the details of what was going to happen, or maybe he had an intuition that it was going to be not a good thing for him, but also knowing that he would have some awareness, but how much did he really know about that? And again, as I look at Easter, we have lots of stories about people who were there, Mary and Peter and John, that came to the tomb after it was discovered that it was empty. But we don't ever get a perspective from Jesus's point of view, from his experience. So I like to play with that in my mind. What kind of experience would he have? Because he had the enlightenment that I would choose to have someday. That's where I want to be. I want to be in that alignment with that attunement with the God that he knew, the Abba that he knew. So I feel that Jesus believed and that he knew that he would awaken. When he was on the cross on Friday, that he knew that he would awaken from this experience of death. So I also wonder, did he know what that would be like? Did he have any idea of what it would be like to be in this new awakening? And until it happened, until it actually happened. So imagine with me, go on a journey with me, imagine with me that we're observing Jesus in the tomb, and it's totally dark and totally quiet as awareness begins to return to his consciousness. He's lying there, his eyes are closed, and he may first become aware of the hardness, the coldness of where he is lying. He's lying on a rock slab. And in the silence, he begins to notice his breathing. Breathing, he thinks, I'm alive. I'm alive. And he opens his eyes slowly, cautiously. But he sees nothing but darkness. So he takes a deep breath. To bring that living energy into his being, into his body. And his exhalation, as he breathes out, causes a fluttering over his face. His arms and legs feel as though they're tightly wrapped. He can't move very well. So he begins to push away on the soft cloths that are holding him, that hold the spices and ointments that were used to prepare his body for the grave. And soon, a hand is free. And so he reaches up to uncover his eyes, taking the cloth off of his face to see what he can see. Darkness, still darkness. And he continues to remove the wraps. And now he reaches out to locate the walls. Locate the walls. Stone, cold, hard, like the slab where he had lain. And he smiles and softly says to himself, I am alive. Thank you, Abba. I am alive. And on his feet now, he feels his way around the walls to find the entrance to the tomb. Here it is, and it's blocked by a huge, big rock. And as was his practice, he reaches out his mind and his heart to the one power that he knows and trusts so well. Abba, Abba, thank you for life. Show me the way. Thank you, Abba. And then just a glimmer, and then a light between the rock and the entrance begins to expand. More and more light coming in. The stone is moving away. And very soon, Jesus walks through the opening and into the garden. Divine guidance is clearing the way for his next right step. How does he feel? How does he feel? Does he know what will happen next for him? He is alive. He knows that. But he's alive at a new level of consciousness. A new level of consciousness. And how will life be for him at this new level of consciousness? I think those are good and important questions. Things that we experience in our own lives. You know, maybe when we go to a retreat or a conference or have some special spiritual experience in our lives, we come back into a period, a time of darkness where we have to assimilate the new information into the consciousness that we have. And sometimes those experiences are things that cause change. They cross out our previous being, our identity, who we knew ourselves to be. Sometimes these experiences may be like a near-death experience for some people, where they actually lose that connection with the physical body. Or for most of us, we've had the kind of experience where we have left a job, we have children growing up and moving away, a friend finds a new significant other relationship, the loss of a partner, perhaps through death or divorce, loss of a sibling, maybe a parent, retirement. What do we do now? Loss of abilities to see, to hear, to drive, to remember. These are the crosses we bear, the little deaths that are in our life, that we must learn to live with. Life continues. After such a change as one of these, life no longer is the same. It is different. And we must change. To be alive in this new nowness that is our life. We must remove the grave clothes, the trauma drama thinking and feeling that bind us to the old way of being. We must open our eyes and breathe. I am breathing. I am alive. Thank you, Abba, Spirit, God, Universe, Source, all names for the one. I am alive. Let there be life. Metaphysically, the crucifixion is the crossing out of what was there before. It is change. It is elimination of the old way. And resurrection is the awakening into a new state of consciousness. Let there be life means let there be awareness. Let me be aware of the life that I have. Life is, and it continues beyond the human ability to perceive, and it saturates all things, including rocks and hummingbird wings. Some things, like rocks, appear as very dense, unchanging physical forms. I brought one of my favorite rocks today. It doesn't change. However, we also know that energy exists within the atomic structure of this rock. All things are energy, no matter whether they are energy or whether they are matter, because as matter they are potential energy. Shifts back and forth. And other things, like hummingbird wings, vibrate so fast that the human eye cannot even perceive that individual characteristics of that wing. Life is everywhere and in all things. So being alive is not only about awareness, the noticing and the knowing parts of being alive. Being alive is also about the beingness and the doingness. So we want to enjoy life. We want to do things that feed our passion. We want to walk on the beach, perhaps, paint, take photos, write, watch the sunset, the rain, and smell a favorite flower, and observe the beauty, the life that is being demonstrated in this new cross, this flower contribution that we have here today. We want to be present with ourselves and with others, to listen, to support, to help however we can. And it feels good when we do that. It feels good to help others. We want to be present. Pet an animal. I have lots of animals in my house. I have 2 cats and a dog. So pet a horse, or pet a cat, or pet a dog, but share that life energy with this other living being. And be present with the food that you eat. Close your eyes and taste it. Savor the flavors. Easter is a time to remember that Jesus lives after the crucifixion. And so we celebrate life, continuing life, his life and our life too. Life is eternal, yet it does not stay the same. Events happen that impact us. The thoughts and the feelings that we focus on create the perceptions of our experience for good or bad. Choose the good. Choose the good. My affirmation for us today is, thank you, God, I am alive. Join with me in that. Thank you, God, I am alive.